Hello and welcome. Welcome, Megan. So happy to
Hey,
have you here.
so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So, everybody, happy Friday. I am so glad that you're joining us today. Welcome to Crystal Coaching Connections. It's another week, another podcast where I am talking to wellness professionals, where we discuss health, wellness, and everything in between. Um, Ultimately, the goal of this show is to really bring together wellness professionals as an integrative practice to show that there is more than just one line to your health and wellness journey. It's like my tree behind there, and I know Megan will like that, but it's like the tree. There's branches, there's leaves, there's so many different things that come together when we're talking about our wellness journey. And my goal is to really make sure that we're helping to fulfill that. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Crystal. I am a health and wellness coach, and I'm also a certified natural therapist. I specialize in stress and anxiety, helping men and women to navigate that stress and anxiety and burnout, to reclaim their confidence and overall stress less. So essentially, I'm your guide to realignment. Today, I have this beautiful lady over here. Her name is Meghan Jones. She's a fellow health coach. We were actually in a mastermind together, which is how we met. And so I'm really happy to have you here, Meghan. Meghan, very similarly to me, actually, I think it's pretty awesome that we have very similar paths. A lot
Yeah.
of our stuff aligns, but she helps people really to help align their intuition, to stop eating mindlessly, helping to create balance in your life, and living intentionally and with control that leaves people to essentially control their weight, feel good, have great exercise plans, and achieve their overall health goals. So welcome, Meghan. I am going to let you talk a little bit more about yourself. Tell me a bit. I mean, I did a good intro, but I think I'll leave it to you there.
Well, I'm so happy to see you again
No,
because we were seeing each other through the mastermind and then we've chatted here or there, but it's very nice to see you and I'm grateful to be on your podcast.
thank you.
I love to do what Crystal said. I really love to help people find health, work, life balance because a lot of times all of us, we are all in balance, out of balance, maybe balance too far to the left, too far to the right. And most of the time it's our health that takes the what do you call it,
The back row, the
back road, the back, yeah, gets on put on the back burner.
yeah.
And even like on Tuesday one of my clients was saying, self-care is the first thing for herself to go. She's like in a month of March where it's go 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 go, and she's working with me, so we're working on trying to be mindful of food, trying to be mindful of the things. And she's like, and with self-care, it's like, yeah, not gonna happen. So it's trying to
It's the
find the
first thing that
balance
goes
with
out the
work and life
window.
itself. Hmm?
The first thing that goes out the window.
First thing that goes out the window. And so I love that people come to me to stop eating sugar. People come to me for anxiety levels. People come to me for different things. Doctors' orders to be on a more plant-based diet. I happen to be um, plant-based vegan for decades. At the same time, there are some people whose bodies actually need some animal protein. So it's not that I only coach people into being a vegan. I try to coach people into their own bio individuality.
I freaking love that. I'm just gonna say, like, a lot of people, when they're looking for a coach, they oftentimes, they don't know what they're really looking for. And what I love that you just said is that you kind of meet your people where they are, right? And it's not everybody that a vegan, way of lifestyle is going to work, or vegetarian, or whatever it may be. It's really each person has a completely different way that their body is going to respond to stuff. And so you help to find that balance
Yeah,
for your client in each specific area that they feel that they need help with, right?
absolutely. And the interesting thing is that I guess what I love to teach and what I love to coach and support and help is kind of a practical mindfulness, if that's a thing,
It is.
across the board, right? Because whether it's eating or exercising or working or family or relationships or all the other, like, seriously 9 million things in all of our lives, right? It doesn't matter if you're a high powered executive or a stay at home mom with twins, right? You have so much on your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. And I feel like the internal part is clutch. The internal part is where we need to come. And so I love to bring people inside to their intuition, but also teaching mindfulness and teaching how to be aware, or what is mindfulness, or how to be conscious about everything. Like, I'm picking up this pen,
Yeah.
I'm speaking to my friend Crystal, I see that the Doritos are on the table, and I'm going to now say, oh, look, the Doritos are on the table. Or I can see how I would skip exercising, but I really need to take a walk. So it's coming back inside.
Yeah.
And even if you, like, have not never done that, but you come inside like once a day, huge win.
Yeah.
And then to try to apply that the rest of your life, I feel that's how we find balance, is to reconnect
With ourselves.
with ourselves.
That's really amazing. I actually, right before we got onto the podcast, I was picking your brain a bit, but we come from very similar kind of backgrounds in the sense that we've made very significant changes, or we are making very significant changes in our own personal lives. And I thought that it would be good to pull out some information there, because when you talk about balance and alignment and intuition, your current career seems to be, if you want to take outside looking in, the career that most people would be like, oh my god, it must be a dream for her, it must have been
Yeah.
something. No, but it's true. If I look and I'm seeing what your career is, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And each person, again, is very different, and how they live their authentic life. And so I
Right.
kind of want to talk a little bit about how you got to where you are and currently what you're doing, and how that has also helped impact not only you but also your clients that you heal.
Okay. I just got, like, seriously a million hits in my head of all these things I could share with you and with everybody listening to us. And then I'm like, nope, streamline, Megan, streamline, streamline. This could be like
It's okay. It's coffee chat. Like we'll try to keep it around 30 minutes, but
that's
it
right.
has to
Just
go long.
get back in line like bumper bowling.
I will. Don't worry. I
Listen,
promise. I promise I will.
so how did I get to where I am, and how did I come into, like, finding my authentic path, or like this path that I want to be on? Because this resonates with me. Health coaching, helping people to find their own individual balance with food, with family, with life, with work, come into alignment, live in alignment, feel happier, content every day. It's what I've been trying to do and have been doing for myself, with myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like every client I help, I've literally made such an epic benefit, bonus, change, like, a positive change on the world, in their
Yeah.
world, right? I currently, for about 25 years, I've played in a professional orchestra. I play violin in a professional orchestra. And people, I mean, they glorify artists, pastors, teachers, right? Because we think, oh, how beautiful you're a teacher, how beautiful you're clergy or rabbi or whatever, right? Or how beautiful you're a musician. And oh, it's so wonderful, you can do your passion and everything. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful career.
Yeah.
And the amount of music, there's music I'm playing nonstop that's new to me. I mean, yeah, there's tons of war horses that you repeat a million times, but there's never ending supply of music, and also new compositions. At the same time, like, I actually come from a family of professional musicians, and
Okay.
I was basically, at the same time as we were taught to walk and brush our teeth and say please
Lots
and
of
thank you, I was also taught to play the violin.
yeah.
And so for me, it is the same of eat, breathe, drink water, play violin. And it's great. And,
And I love what you just said. I'm sorry, I have to cut you there. You grew into this role, and it wasn't necessarily your passion. It became part of who you were.
right, right. And it will always be part of who I am, because my parents are still alive. They are still musicians. My brother is a musician, went into another field within the music world, right? So,
Yeah.
and in the music world is a teeny nugget and gorgeous, right? And really connected.
Yeah.
So it's an integral part of all society on
Hmm.
this planet. Um, I have always been that food girl, like
Okay.
interested in anything, whether it was the trend diets that wrecked my body, or whether it was, you know, exercising too much, exercising too little, being on a marathon, like I've always been that food girl, that exercise girl, fascinated in how the body works and how to heal my own allergies, or oh, that may make me sick, learning these things. And I certified as a personal trainer probably seriously like 15 years ago, because I always wanted to, and people were asking me for
Okay.
exercises nonstop, even starting in middle school, like, what do you do for your abs? I'm like, oh, let me show you.
Yeah.
So I certified in that, and I always kept like a handful of clients because that's fun. And I always thought, oh, if I could only live a parallel life, because it would be so fun to just be in that. And then for probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years before I enrolled in IIN, which is health coaching school, where Crystal also went.
Yeah.
Um, Before enrolling in that, I was like, oh, I really want to study nutrition. I want to study nutrition. Finally, I enrolled in IIN, and I enrolled in it because it worked with the orchestra schedule.
Okay.
And I didn't know what health coaching was.
Yeah.
I thought I enrolled in nutrition school, which I did.
Yeah.
Because we learned, what was it? Probably 75%, 60% of it was
Yeah, it was
nutrition.
literally, yeah, it was nutrition, like over 100 different dietary theories.
All the
You
theories
know,
and all that, and it was wonderful.
yeah,
And also then they were speaking all the woo woo, which is my language, like
yeah,
it's all connected, our food, our spiritual, practices, our exercise, family life, work life, it's all connected, right? And I was like, I'm home. And then I was like, what is this health coaching, and then I
yeah.
was like, oh my god, I am actually here to be a health coach.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. And a little aside, in parentheses, we can talk about another time, is I had a huge kind of explosion in my life
Yeah.
around the year 2002. It wasn't like all of a sudden exploded, stuff leads
Oh
to stuff,
yeah. Stuff
right?
kills.
Yeah. And even when stuff explodes, you can sit it and be like, thank goodness it's exploding, but this is awful. In the brutality, you're like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was it. And I started to I reached out to like a coach, a peak performance coach, because I thought it was about violin and career and this and my relationship, my long-term relationship and whatever. And I
So
started
you personally reached out to a
to
performance.
a coach. I reached out to a coach
Amazing.
who I had met and heard of in like 1998. This was 2002, and I was like, I wonder if he could help me. And he like introduced me to all these books spanning the spectrum. Some of it was new agey cliche stuff. Some of it was just that niche Han or Gnostic Gospels or whatever, right? Like all the spectrums, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought this was going to have to do with violin.
Yeah.
Fast forward through very much, I met and started to work with a shaman. And I've been mentoring with her like every other week for about over 10 years. And
Wow.
so that has also opened me to myself, to my authenticity, and to what I actually am here to do.
Which, it brings me back to what you said before. You talked about how you were looking for parallel, right? You were looking for a parallel with the music that you do, right? And it wasn't all or nothing. And I in my area, it was very all or nothing, right? Because what I was doing for most of my life was very inauthentic. It wasn't who I was. It wasn't the life that I wanted to live. And that's why I love your story, is because it's not that you weren't living an authentic life. There was just something else that was in there
Yeah.
that you were craving to have.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that and hearing that in somebody like you, because so many of the clients that come to us, they feel that there's something burning on the other side, but they can't figure out what it is. And I think that they truly believe that there's that all or nothing kind of mentality, that we have to be, if it's not the right thing right now, well, then we have to ditch everything and then go full steam ahead somewhere else. And I really love that, because I see that you not only create balance with your clients, but you've created a serious balance with your life. I mean, going
Well, and
orchestra.
I'm still trying to, right? We always play with that every day, even as coaches, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what You mentioned shaman, and now I'm going to go there because I would like to get an understanding and teach my audience also a little bit about what is a shaman, what do they do, how does that work as a part of an integral relationship with our overall wellness, right? I've never had a shaman on here. I know that you're like mentoring with one.
Oh, I'm just studying with her. Yeah.
Yeah, you're studying with her, but I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to, like, hey, what is that like? How
Yeah.
does that help us?
Well, I mean, if you go, I mean, I'm not Webster nor Google.
No,
But if you go to
pretty
like
good filters.
huh?
We're pretty good filters.
We're pretty good filters. Yeah, we're good filters. I agree. If you go to like just basics of what a shaman is, shamans like were always everywhere. It doesn't matter if it was like, in Peru, Native American, Russians, um, I'm sure Asia,
Mhm.
all the places in when it was tribal, those were
The
the
elders,
healers, the spiritual leaders, the medical people, they were
the healers.
the healers across the board.
Mhm.
And very, very generally, shamanism simply believes that everything is energy
Nice.
and then it's all connected. And and I mean, people are now speaking about, meditation and speaking about law of attraction and speaking about because there's a lot more to the unseen than just air and gravity.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can't see the air. Clearly, we use it all day long. We
Yeah.
can't see the gravity. We're grateful for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't think about
That's
this
like,
thing.
we don't think about our heart beating, but beats, and it does its job all day long to keep us
There
alive.
it is. Because we have the unseen air. And also, there's the unseen chemistry between people. Like, I feel very comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And then there are people with whom, you don't feel as comfortable with.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Right, and it's not visible, it's a feeling. And so everything is energy. And basically, I mean, what my experience has been is that it takes you through all the beauty and brutality of the internal layers of yourself. Because
Mhm.
there's always that saying, like, life, or we are onions, right? And you peel off a layer and there's a new layer and whatever. I mean, for me, my experience has been like my life is a bag of onions, and I'm like peeling off layers, and I'm like, oh my god, there's another onion, and then I'm peeling off. So like, I've got a bag of onions, but it's like it's amazing in the transformation in myself and of myself, and it's how it's connected is you're speaking all or nothing. Like, one of my clients speaks directly all or nothing about, she'll really try hard to eat whole real foods and to really give herself water and do things. And then she'll say, I had an awful day, so now I'm just going to eat like a garbage can.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm just going to wreck that meal was shot. So there goes
So
the
I'm gonna
day,
shoot the whole day and shoot the whole week, and yeah.
right? And then that affects because everything is energy and everything is connected. And so that's going to affect literally her body chemistry,
Yeah.
which then affects literally her productivity at work,
Her
her
mood.
relationship with her significant other, her energy, the lethargy that allows her to have physical activity in that day or not, her care of what affects everything. On the flip side, then we can look at this other client who's new to me. I'm so excited to be supporting her. She is in her 50s and at that stage where her kids are grown. I mean,
Yeah.
always the and she removed herself from a toxic job, and she feels lost and like doesn't even know where this like new invention of chapter. She's realized she's a food addict and an emotional eater, which is how many people, tons, thousands of people. And she's looking for that overall
Yeah.
connection. And so, I mean, is this shamanism on a very simple level? Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all connected.
I keep, we're having a great conversation today. I'm just going to say that straight out
Oh,
because
fun.
everything that you're saying is like, oh my God, it's like, it's setting off something that, I just want to talk more about. Right. And about how, because that's what coaching connections is about. Like, that's what this show is all about. It is about making those connections and realizing that there's so much more than just this one little thing that we're doing.
Right.
Right. Like,
It's not only the avocado.
no, it's not just the avocado. It really isn't. It's not, oh my God, I saw avocado toast at Dunkin' Donut. And I'm just wondering what kind of avocados are they actually using?
GMO. Just
I
saying.
know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry, you just brought up the avocado and I just went on a tangent there. But,
Yeah.
again, it's like the onion, right? Like, there are so many different facets to our lives that we actually need to grow in, right? Like, I spent so many years on the whole diet trend, not realizing that it was my mental health that needed to,
Me
uh,
too.
and it was the mental health thing that needed to do. It was the physical fitness thing. And, at the end of the day, I tell this to my clients, and I'm sure you do the same thing. We are by far not perfect. We
Oh.
by far have, I mean, I have to force I force myself to take vacations because that glass being over full needs to be over full for me to be able to be consistent and doing all of the things, right? Like, whether you're working for somebody or you're an entrepreneur, like, you have to feed that glass first. The self-care thing can't go out the window.
Right.
And there's so many different lines. Like, we talk about limiting beliefs. You talked about, energy. We've talked, like, there's so many different lines that each individual that we work with, you peel back that layer of the onion and there might be another layer that you might park on the side for now, right? Because you can't work on all the things.
No, it could be even part of the layer at a time. And that's the whole thing, right? Because people are like, I'm sure to you too, like, it's overwhelming. I don't know, or I can't
Yeah.
do that or whatever. And that's the whole point of your coaching, my coaching, having a coach for anything,
Yeah.
whether it's public speaking, whether it's swimming, baseball, whatever. When you're a health coach, I mean, if somebody is literally drinking 8 ounces of water a day, which is rough,
That,
that's rough. And
that's
there's a lot of people that are doing that.
yeah. That would be if we tried to tell them to drink 3 liters of water
Well, their body wouldn't accept it.
no.
So if you consciously, mindfully, literally drink one full glass of water more a day, your entire life will change.
Yeah.
And
I,
that's all you have to do right now.
I
You don't
love
have
that.
to do all.
Who are your favorite, well, obviously favorite clients? All of our clients are our favorites, but do you have like a real, like, I guess your deep down niche of a client? Like, who's your ideal client? I would say,
It's funny because
who goes
all of
to see Megan?
all of my clients are so different. Like, some of them are athletes trying to quit sugar, and some of them are,
Yeah.
moms with nest is just empty all of a sudden, and some of them, one of them is like so many different people. But I guess very, very generally, my ideal client is open to the connection of everything, like seeing how their eating and their lifestyle choices are
Yeah.
making everything feel bananas,
Okay.
or how they're over giving and giving and giving and giving at the sacrifice of their themselves, not only fed into their anxiety but also into their health, things now. And if we bring that, I think it's the person who's open to the unseen,
Hmm.
open to the connection, open to playing with different foods. If it doesn't work for you, we play with different foods,
Yeah.
open to playing different exercises, open to maybe finding that by releasing control, you gain control.
I feel like in what you're saying here is like the person that is starting to open their eyes, but they haven't fully figured it out yet, right? And
Yeah.
so I feel like what you do is with these people is you help them to figure out and narrow down the areas in their life that they want to focus on,
And
right?
then it expands into
And
all
then
layers.
it expands.
Because
Exactly.
it's fascinating. I had a world-class rower, #1 in her age group, who wanted to quit sugar. And she re-signed for another program after her first program. And by the end of it, she's like, um, I can see how cleaning out my filing cabinets and getting rid of this board of directors file is something I was holding on to validate my, do you know what I mean? And she was in the program initially to quit sugar. So I love helping people free their life from sugar,
Yeah.
anxiety. I like balancing. I like balancing the people and people who are open to balancing all the things.
That's amazing. Like I absolutely adore it. It's kind of like me, right? I specialize in stress and anxiety and burnout. But again, as we unfold the layers of those onions and start peeling things back a little bit, we start to find a lot of really interesting things on where our clients would need guidance per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Absolutely.
amazing. Oh, guys, did you know that she's also a plant whisperer?
I love plants. I do. And I'm a proud auntie. Crystal, if
Yeah,
you would like to, you may show them your extra leaves on your orchid. I think you might want to.
I'm gonna do it.
I think you might want to.
I'm gonna do it. So
She has new leaves.
I have new leaves. This is life. This is life right here. Oh, we're not getting, oh, right here. Right there, baby. Megan has actually been helping me with my, she doesn't even realize she's been helping me with my plants, but Megan is now a proud auntie. So, you're doing coaching on another level too, right there.
That's right. It's because I figured things out and I'm like, 3 ice cubes.
Yeah, exactly. 3 ice cubes of water weekly, and you're going to be great.
All right. Share the
No,
knowledge.
but Megan, was there anything else that you wanted to outline about you and your program and, any of the insights that we've talked about before? Anything else that we haven't touched today?
Um, I I don't know. I think that what I would say is I really do believe that if we strive to live our lives every moment of every day more and more on purpose. When I say that, I pull into my feet because all of a sudden my moments are present or mindful. I
Mhm.
feel like if we really strive, and if you have a hard time with that, that's why you hire a coach and you learn how to sustain it, right? But I believe that we can live our lives every moment of every day more and more on purpose. And when we do, then everything can come into balance and your relationships will explode and your body will drop the weight or help heal what it needs to heal. And I want to say that whether with a coach or without a coach, I really believe that we can make better lives. Like now it can feel better. That's, I guess, what I want to say.
I love that. And I think that that's one of our biggest differentiations. Like, I have never been that much of an alignment coach, like, but I love, I feel called to you, to listening to you about, being mindful and intentional. Like, when you said going back down to your feet right now, I knew you were standing, and I knew you were like, I just felt it. Right. And I think it's super
Feel
important.
the groundedness. And
I,
that's that everything is energy. We're through a Zoom screen
yeah.
and you could feel it. And that's what it is.
Yeah, when you said you were grounded, all of a sudden I planted myself in the morning moments. I stopped looking at the Facebook to see if there was any comments. I stopped looking at the other screen. I came into the moment, and I think that that, just that, I know you do so much more than that, but that grounding energy and that creating that, because again, balance goes both ways. It moves, it changes, and
Oh, and it's supposed to.
it is supposed to, exactly. There's no such thing as being just like
Yeah.
this. But what I love about you, the way you say it, is that I feel that wave of balance happening. I feel that grounding intuition. So honestly, today this has been really good. I feel like I actually needed this after my little vacation, right? Coming back to it all and like come back to your you're crazy. That it's been amazing, and thank you so much. My goodness, you're inspiring to me because I, for myself, like I said, going, I did all or nothing when it came to what I was doing before
I
to
used to too.
yeah, exactly. But to see somebody like you who's taking both of your passions, whether it's your music and your coaching and the fitness, and taking it all together and really like making that part of your life and creating a balance within it, I think it's super important. Thank you so much for today. This is amazing.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're very welcome. I adored this. So I am going to leave it open for questions. This is going to be available on my Facebook. It's also going to be available on my YouTube channel. We could share it, get all of the inside information from Megan over here, because honestly, You killed it today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
You're very welcome. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.